Hello and welcome to Mastermind. Our mission is to build $1 million businesses so that we can have financial freedom, time for our families, and make an impact in our communities. Let's kick it off with some big wins. Alex, and then short intros too. We have a new member. Alex, big wins and intros, please.
Hi, good morning. Big wins. I have a couple small ones, I will say, today. So the first one is to be able to make it to this meeting. I was presenting also a couple challenges to be here. I need to bring out materials to one job. But yeah, if I choose, I could be not present on this meeting, but I choose to be here. I was able to just order the materials and have the guys go pick it up. Which is the way it's supposed to be, right? We can get this freedom. That's a one win. The second one, small one, it's just that I'm ready and willing to embrace the DYB and just put it to work and test it, see if it works for me as well.
Yeah.
Last weekend, I went to see a job, so I sold that on the spot and walked out with a check. Yeah, that was a very great feeling just to present it, take the time to be with the customer and sell the job. And one other job is pending because I didn't follow the rules. I didn't sell on the spot because I was in a hurry. They ghosted me a little bit. So hopefully we can, with the follow-ups, we can close that one, but I learned my lesson. So those are my wins.
Good. The important thing is you learn a lesson. That's awesome.
Yes.
And then quick intro for a new member, please.
My name is Alex Garcia, and I own Newman Painting in San Diego, California, and being part of the DYB system for maybe 1 month last year or 2 months, and by stay on the cafe, and now I'm re-engaging with the DYB.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Josh, big wins and quick intro, please.
My name is Josh Strange. I own Stellar Painting. We've been in business for about 1.5 years now. My motivation is definitely my family and providing well for my wife and 2 beautiful boys. We are on track to do really well this month. So big win, January, sold 63,000 for just January, which is better than last January, that's for sure. So pretty pumped to have that kind of start to the year. Another big win. I was actually talking to Jeff Haviland quite a bit yesterday because I've been going through the ringer with some stuff, and I was trying to get some 1099s from people. So I just have this like IRS wait just sitting over here. I had one customer, we're supposed to start next week. She messaged me early in the morning and was like, "Hey, do you guys refund deposits?" That sucks. And that's all going on. And that probably the biggest weighty thing that's going on right now is I have a job. We did 26 grand for this guy, like a lot of work. We were there for a while. We had done like this first portion before Christmas. Then we were like about to start for the second portion right after Christmas. So it's like it feels like it was almost like a 2-month job. We did a lot of cabinets, a lot of work. And I think we did a good job, but the last day my guys left some paper with some stain on a quartz countertop in a wet bar area. And it got stained on the countertop. And they had got a couple of drips on the side of a couch. And really, those were like the main issues. Honestly, everything else went really smooth, but the guy was just very mad about it, which I understand. It's just carelessness. And I talked to my guys about it, but I talked to him and was like, this was a couple weeks ago. I was like, yeah, we'll make it right. Whatever we got to do. He's like, I don't really want you coming back. Okay. Then 2 days ago, he sent me a text of just like invoices. And he's like, hey, here's a $1,900 brand new couch. Here is this replacing all this small wet bar area. It's about $4,300. So it's like, there's still 10 grand left on this invoice. So he's like, you owe me 7 grand for this. And I was like, okay, let's look back at the contract that says you have to let us fix this before you just start throwing dollar signs at this job. So now I'm having to deal with that with 10 grand just sitting out there. And this guy's, I think he's just trying to get out of paying it. But I called a countertop guy. So this is yesterday. I trying to prepare. I want to make sure I'm ready to give him solutions. But talked to a upholstery person and they're like, yeah, there's no way we can't get a couple of drops out of a couch. Jeff told me about this product that works really well. So it would be tops $125 to get the paint drips out of the couch. I'm not going to replace especially an older couch with a brand new couch.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a countertop guy and they were like, yeah, with quartz, it's got a seal on the top. It's not porous. So it should wipe off with mineral spirits or dish soap and water. I was like, if that doesn't work, you can use like a lacquer, but I would use it on the whole thing so it doesn't take off, so it looks even. The worst case scenario, we can remove and replace it and then refinish it for $750. Okay, I would rather do that. So worst case scenario, it's in his court. He's got to figure this out. I can pay maybe $900, but I was feeling the weight of it yesterday. So my win, long circle, my win is that just really in a hole yesterday, and I just chipped away at some things, figured out all the 1099 stuff. I sold a job yesterday. It was a smaller job, but I scheduled 3 jobs that were in the queue, got them ready for February, and I did all that research to figure out what I have to do, and I persevered and I felt much better by the end of the day after having a really crushing day. It felt like a win to get to the end of a day like that and feel like I feel like I climbed up the mountain and got out of it. Not got out of it, but anyways, that was a big win.
Right on. Awesome. Then quick intro, please.
Yeah, so I start with the intro, but
Oh, did you? Sorry.
No, you're good. I can do it again. Josh with Stellar Painting, and yeah, we've been in business for a couple of years. We do interior, exterior, cabinet refinishing, light commercial.
Thank you, Josh. Paul Dibdahl, big wins, quick intro, please.
Yo, Paul Dibdahl, y'all. Here in the high desert of Los Angeles, California. I have a little boutique company. We do good work. We do weird fine finish work, and we've been trying to stop doing that because it's weird. And we're trying to do the non-weird and the more normal. Not that strange isn't cool. Get it? That was a joke about Josh.
I got it, yeah.
Yeah, just trying to focus on a home service, residential service painting business, kind of, rather than a custom business. A lot of times it's like The Godfather, where they just keep pulling me back in. Every time I try to get out, they keep pulling me back in. So my big win this week was I was sick, which has caused me to have a few contemplating things in life, but I haven't been sick in 3 years, which I had a good run. Anyway, and because I was so sick and there was a client I didn't want to miss out on, it was a referral. We'd done a relative's home, and I could tell they wanted to get things going, and I didn't want to cancel. So I sent my guy over there to do the estimate, and I'm going to pick up a deposit this morning. I still have not met them or been to the place.
Winner. Yes, sir.
So that's a pretty big win, be able to have him. And it helped him to see that that it's not as easy as it looks to walk in and estimate it. He was like, I have no clue how you even do any of that. Neither do I. That was a pretty big win. And when you're healthy all the time, you don't appreciate that. And like I said, I've had days where I don't feel good or whatever. You feel the effects of age, but I was down. I had a great visit with my new granddaughter, but she had RSV when I was there. And I'm like, I had Norwegian, I have Viking blood. I'm not going to get any sickness. Okay. And so this sickness was a formidable one. And, but hey, it's all working out.
Awesome. And you made it to Mastermind. So appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. Ace, go ahead and unmute and share your big wins and quick intro, please.
Quick intro, Asa Hunt. I own Bighorn Painting here in Denver. We've been in business like almost 3 months now, so we're figuring a lot of stuff out. But big wins, I found a company to deliver door hangers for me at a really good price. So I'm going to start that campaign probably tomorrow and see how that goes for lead generation. I've been having some success generating leads by visiting people that just moved into their home and offering them a move-in special. Been getting some estimates pop up that way, so that's been cool, but not closed any business, so that's not cool. That's where I'm at.
Okay, thank you, Asa. Dion.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Dion Fouché. I'm a little bit north of Paul here in the San Francisco Bay Area, the Berkeley area. Going on my second year, I do mainly subcontracting work for somebody that I used to work for 8 years. We've got an interesting relationship, and this will be my second year, residential interior, exteriors. And I guess the big win for me this week is it's going to rain, and the problem that sounds weird, right, Steve?
Yeah.
A part of the problem we have up north here, and I don't know, Paul might have similar issues down south, is that we tend to work year round, so we don't bulk up in the summer. We stay consistent, not trying to take over the world, just a smallish little company. But the drawback of that is you're always working, and there's little time for implementation of new things. And so I'm looking at the next 10 days, and I'm like, I gotta sit behind that desk and I need to make some stuff happen, because once the wheel starts turning again, it's hard to do things when the vehicle is in motion. So I'm looking forward to 10 days of rain.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. Glad to hear that. Jamie, welcome to Mastermind. Quick intro and big wins, please. Go ahead and mute your mic, please.
And first time on this meeting, but I've been with DYB for a few years. We're based out here in Southern California, Huntington Beach. We're a smaller company, basically 2 to 3 full-time crews. But until recently, I acquired a secondary, business through some friends that were just wanting to get out of it. I expanded my business just recently, which is exciting because it's actually started off really well. I've gotten the first day we made it official, got a new job, like a $13,000 job, which is just out of the blue, out of nowhere, and 3 estimates. So I was like, okay, because they're doing something right, and which is I really love about them. They have a very good social presence on Facebook and mothers marketing groups and stuff. She's just really good into that stuff. So anyways, so that has been a really nice surprise today. And then yesterday I got news from a lady. I tried to sell the job on site, but it was quite hard because it's probably the nicest house I've ever been into. And the bid was up there. It's about a 6-week job interior out here off the coast. And she emails me last night that we got the job. I was super happy with that. The last couple weeks have been a little bit slower, I think mostly just because of weather and just transitioning again. So it's nice to have that come through, and I have faith in it, and you're always working towards it. And in the meantime, I was working on other stuff like my CRM, which I invest a lot of time in that because I want to make sure that when these things happen and when we start getting busy for the season, that I can go full blast and not feel the pressure of I don't have enough time. And because once you take that away from me, then it takes away my enjoyment of this job. Anyways, yeah, those are mostly it. I did have an email campaign I sent out this last week to some past customers. We got success with that. Anything else? Mostly it. We've been in business since 2017. And so we're just not trying to be this massive company, but we want to be a comfortable company and have things be efficient. So.
Indeed. Right on. Awesome. And again, welcome, Jamie. It's really great to have you.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Next round. What's the one thing we could brainstorm for you such that might make everything else easier and or unnecessary? Alex, lead the way.
Okay, it's like question for you all. Also, as Jimmy just working on, I have a lot of tech, I will say, as an overhead, company cam, paint scout, and workload, and so many other things that I think is going to be beneficial for myself. But I've been thinking, or might be too much for me at the moment. So I maybe want to take a lot of tech to make my life easier. But if I'm not using it, it's just they're sitting. So my question or something that you could help me is how you guys manage your growth. What exactly do I need to run my business efficiently and
How to simplify. So tech is important. What are you paying for? What's that project management app tech you're using?
Okay, so Paint Scout, it's 99. Workload, which is a project management, is $100.
Mhm.
Company Camp, I believe because it's only myself, it's $38. Then I just got the open phone, which I think it's important as well. I'm on the trial, so I don't know how much it's gonna be after that. I think it's like around 30 something dollars again. And yeah, so I'm just brainstorming a lot.
Yeah, you need those. I don't know that you should cut
Mhm.
them. We're talking about $250
Okay,
in
yeah.
overhead. The question I would have is why aren't we using them, or what can we do to get the company to the next level so that we can be utilizing all of them? So we want to lean in and grow rather than shift back, shift down, and take it easy. Instead, we want to lean into growth. And what's the next level? How can we utilize all those, and how can we help get you to the next level faster?
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys have any thoughts or questions for Alex in this regard?
I think the biggest thing is just it all starts with you, which you're the lead, and then you're just in, I guess, like the perspective that you carry and the organization that you start with in the beginning is going to help your company the most. And then also just with, for example, my guys, I just try and make them feel like they're important to me because there's nothing better that I can do with that. And if they feel that way, they're going to do a good job for you. Your growth will be a little easier. You're going to have to spend less time working on the small stuff because that's just a time killer for me when I have to go in and do stuff that really, it's not really my responsibility, but it is my responsibility.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Leadership, culture, critical. Very good. Anything else for Alex? Thank you, Jim. Oh, are we good? Alex, you good for now?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Leadership, culture, and lean into growth, buddy. Okay. Let's see here. Josh, I know you got to cut out a little early today, so let's make sure we get you in. What's the one thing we could brainstorm for you? You muted?
Yeah, I'm in a BNI group, and we meet on Thursday mornings at 8:15. We usually get out of there. Usually they say 9:45, usually ends up being around 10. And I joined in and it felt very promising at first, and then it seems to have died down pretty. There's like maybe 5 members, including myself, and
Total currently?
total. Yeah. It started with over 15 when I first got there, and then people just started piling out. So I feel like I jumped onto a sinking ship a little bit. And I just started another one. Well, I was invited to one that seems really solid. It's CEA. I don't know if I think it's probably a local networking group. But a guy that I had met at a networking thing, it's called Leader Exchange. It's once a month on Thursdays. And I met this guy there and he invited me to this networking group. And it seems great. It's 40 people, it's been around for 25 years, really solid members. But it starts at 7 and ends at 8:30. Obviously, we could probably try and switch around the schedule for BNI, but I'm curious what your take is, Steve, if you think it's good maybe just to jump ship from the BNI group. I've had a job that's made the money back from it, and I'm tempted to just say I'm going to join into this Fort Worth Club networking group. But the reason why I ask is because I think with the other one starting earlier, I can be out later and still have most of my mornings on Thursday. With the BNI, it feels like it takes a good chunk of my morning, and I could get a lot of time back as well.
Yeah. I would say just the simple fact that they're down to 5 members, absolutely find something else. And when you're looking for groups, and even if it were to say a BNI, generally speaking, you want to find groups that hopefully have at least 25 members and are growing. It's ideally 50, 70, but to find one with 50 or 70 that doesn't have a painting contractor is near impossible. Yeah, usually you join groups from 20 to 30 range and trending up, like they've got great culture and just a lot of good energy, and everybody's excited to be there and to move forward. So this one down to 5, absolutely should leave and join that other group. as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. That's reassuring.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Right on. Absolutely. Paul, you're up. Think you're muted?
Mute me. So one thing, it's the same struggle I have. And I was just even saying that in the intro of struggling with when I get into moments like Josh Strange, where I am dealing with what I'm having to do with taxes and accountants and the clerical part of the business. It still just makes me anxious. It just, and just that struggle. I actually just think about this. Hold on, bear with me. I'm going to show you something. What this happens to be right here. This is one of my struggles right here. I don't know if you could see this. There it is. There it is.
Mhm.
There. All right. This is a piece of countertop that I was given, and I need to match.
Pregnant pause. Paul, like, you guys need to get this when he says he does weird things and he's trying to be a painter. He's one of the most talented faux artists, and I don't even think that is a fair term for him. He does magic. He's going to be able to take wood or drywall, whatever they hand him, and make it look just like what he's holding on to there.
So I was given this by a client, and I've done work for this client for the past 20 years. I've done every inch of his house and every inch of his relative's house, every inch of his businesses. I love him. Yeah, he called me just to make sure I was okay when I was sick. And then he was like, okay, so how's that sample coming along? But he is a man's man, but his wife is in charge and she wants her countertops changed. He makes sure to check. Anyway, so it's hard for me to tell him, no, I don't do that anymore. And he knows what I can do. And I do this a lot. And I like doing this. When I think of all that other stuff, I just go, man, I want to go match that marble. I don't want to worry about these other guys. It's a tough thing. And then even the last 2 days, I've been in my shop, but we have a job where the job was already set. Then the lady saw the cabinets hung prior to us painting them. And she said, I like that. The wood is a paint grade maple. It's not the best wood. And these guys were figuring it was going to get painted. So she wants me to clear coat the wood, but it's got just stuff on every door. So now today I'm going through with my wood graining artist brush and I'm going to fix everything. I'm going to fix it because I can. Like, I like doing it. I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to taking my bank statements to my accountant. I'm not looking forward to, you know what I mean? I don't look forward to figuring out how we to pay the guys' payroll taxes and all this other stuff. So It's that struggle and that mindset that I struggle with, transitioning from a painter to the business part of the painting. It's just a huge struggle. And it's something I constantly do. And you have to look beyond that big picture.
Yeah. Quick question here, Paul. The first time you ever did faux or somebody tried to teach you, were you excited about it? Remember the grind, the very first grind? When we first off, we didn't get it. It was frustrating.
I had to start painting because I took a path where I said, I'm going for this. And I don't care what. I will run my life into destruction and homelessness, but I'm going to make it in music. I love this. This is all I want to do. And I sold out everything. And we got a record deal and we toured and we became popular, and videos, we go to magazine stands that had records, the Tower Records, Warehouse Records, wherever that was, displays on radio interviews. And my girlfriend got pregnant. We had a kid. And when I got back from a 6-month tour, I just saw my daughter and I just saw my granddaughter. And it reminded me when I saw my daughter, she was 6 months old. And I looked at her and I said, I'll never leave you again. So I didn't know what to do. I had to call my brother. He's a painter. I started painting. I went from that lifestyle to becoming a union painter in San Francisco, and where you just slapping as much paint on as you can. You have a job. You're wearing whites. You wear a hard hat in this construction site. And during the apprenticeship for being a painter, I was introduced to faux finishing. And I was like, I can be creative in this. I don't have to be like a construction guy. There's this painting. Boom. And I started, but I no, that was it. I bought the books.
Yeah.
I did it on my own.
Okay. So hold on. Let me jump in here because
get emotional about that, but it just happened to me.
So here's what happens. You're passionate about this because you're a master at it. Passion comes after mastery. And so I remember when I used to hate sales. I used to loathe sales, right? Before I learned to compete on value and before I mastered it. Now I love it. I'm like, I'll sell anything that I believe in, honestly. So I just want to make sure to sell with integrity there, but I love sales now because we figured it out. But when we were getting started, things are tough. So like building a business, things are tough. And you're doing a big identity shift here from masterful painter to building a painting business, which is not near as exciting, doesn't feed our ego, but you can delegate it. You can teach and delegate it much easier than the skills that you have. So there's the opportunity to scale it up and to cash flow. Now, when it comes to the clerical part, that's where we hire a part-time admin. Nobody likes doing the books. We all hate the books. I don't even know if accountants like doing the books or bookkeepers like doing the books, but we hate doing the books. Almost every entrepreneur I know hates doing the books. The good news is usually we can delegate that at a reasonable cost and then bring in a part-time admin because really we should be out selling and networking and hiring and training. That should be your time. And as you master business, then you become passionate about business itself. Like you are about
I ramble on and talk too much, obviously, but that I was exactly thinking of that. And I was thinking, I don't know, I got things to do. I don't know if I could deal with this meeting. I'm going to call I got to call 3 people I know to figure this out because I've got to delegate this out. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to you talk. I'm here. I can see what everyone's saying. Alex, I was listening to you talk about the technology stuff, and I was thinking I get myself into that too, where I want to get technology and hey, I'll get technology to help me do this, and I get the technology, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do with this. You know what I mean? So when you were saying that, I was thinking, I'm going to hire somebody to do this stuff. And then we're going to talk about what technology they want to use that's going to help them help me. Or we're going to introduce that technology, but they're going to use it. And they're going to maybe help me make my life easier. But I was just thinking about the technology thing. And because I buy technology that I just let it sit there because I'm going to do it. I'm going to use it this time. I'll really do it. And then I'm like, duh. The delegation of the administration, getting to be around, is probably the way to go.
You're awesome. Paul, forgive me. We're short on time. I got to move along. All right, Dion, you're up, buddy. What can we brainstorm for you?
One of the big things here in California is compliance. You got to comply with this, that, whatever. And I just have an attitude of I just cannot do it all. So I'm picking and choosing. And over the years working for somebody else, I've seen people or ownership getting kept hostage with timesheets and timekeeping. And I'm considering switching to electronic timekeeping. My payroll company offers that. It's GPS, it's this and that, whatever. It's a tricky thing though. The guys that I took over has been around us for 17, 18 years, and they've never had to do it this way. We know that a customer would email on a Friday afternoon and say, hey, get the email at noon. Guys did a great job, and gave them the check. And the timesheet comes in and there's 8 hours for the day. And so it's ways to look at it is to say, yeah, you guys are stealing, or you can say, hey, this is a fringe benefit. The guys came in on budget. We just don't rock the boat. And my question is, how do I implement this new electronic timekeeping system that's GPS enabled, tells me exactly where you clocked out and when? And because I don't want to end up in this situation where the moment there's conflict, it's like we're running to the labor board to know you didn't pay me for this, you didn't pay me for that. And I just, I've seen it for the 8 years I was with somebody else. I just think it's just the biggest nonsense in the world.
Yeah. So good questions. These are hard situations to deal with. Good news is there is a pathway. There is a process for it. One is, absolutely use a digital time tracking. Now, I don't know if I can go GPS, right? Because I think it just leaves a lot open. Instead, we recommend something like ClockShark or QuickBooks QuickTime, and then they clock in and out. So they have ownership in when it was in and out. 2 is, we call this crazy eights. Everybody gets 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. until you start using this. Once you do, because it's never true. I was like, oh, yeah, I think we get 40 hours. No, you don't. You'll find that you're going to save thousands of dollars, going to go directly to your bottom line once you start putting this in and you realize that the guys are only averaging 32 hours a week on average. When people implement this, they find across the team that they're averaging 32 hours a week instead of 40. And then you work to get that up. Second, to implement this, or anytime you guys want to implement a new procedure, policy, tech, here's the key. Go to your influencer on your team. There's always an influencer on your team that your team looks up to who's not the owner. Go to your influencer and connect with them. And you want to lead with the benefit to them. So in this case, it might be, hey, we want to grow this business. We want to grow it profitably, and I want to be able to increase wages. In order to do that, we need to be more efficient in our time tracking. So I have this really simple app that you guys can use to track time and to help us to be more efficient so that we can be more profitable. If we're more profitable, then you guys can make more. Would you be interested in seeing it? And usually they're like, yeah. And then you explain it to him, you show it to him, he sees the benefit for him to using it. And then with him on board, with your influencer on board, then you roll it out to the team. And really the team is going to look to the influencer for the nod. And he's going to say, hey guys, this is going to be great for us. Let's all put this on our phone or whatever and start using it right away. So recap, anytime you want to roll out a new policy, procedure, tech, sell your influencer first. Your influencer will help sell it to the team for you. Okay. Oh, Josh has to run. Thank you, Josh. All right. So, Jamie, you're up.
I just think it's the biggest thing. I think that across the board, a lot of people are having the same things, but just painters are great, but hiring somebody to manage, like oversee some of the projects. So I'm not spending so much time at the job, making sure every little thing's going right, but I can have more of someone that can just be a project manager, basically. It's hard to give up those responsibilities. But I know, as I've done in the past, it does help. Back, I had spent some time during COVID. It's just crazy. I spent 3 months out of the country, and I ended up having a helper who made it so much easier, and I just so much less stress. When I came back from that trip, I started to get these things to come back, and it was hard for me to let go. I don't want to micromanage anybody, and I think it goes both ways for the guys as well, because it can happen. But just, I don't know, finding a way to let go of those responsibilities and empower people to, painters are fine. It just have like a good assistant would be nice to, and it's going forward in the future. And that would be one of the biggest things I want to work on.
Okay. So let me jump into here. I would encourage you, one, to make sure to focus on culture. So if you hire for character, focus on culture, your crews will take care of the customer. You won't need a project manager to manage them. In fact, when guys do hire them, that's an indicator that they haven't hired for character and they don't have a strong culture. And I'm not calling you out here. I just want to show you the opportunity, because a project manager is going to cost you $50,000 to $80,000 out of your profit, right? And it's not really necessary as long as we have the right tech stack to set the teams up to win. Okay. And then reliable crew leads, at least, to grab that and to give the customer a great experience and to lead the crew in what needs to be done. So as long as we hire for character and we take care of culture, we have the right tech stack in place, we don't really need a project manager anymore. Not these days, if that makes sense.
Sure. I guess it's a hybrid of sorts of what I'm actually looking for. That does make sense. I do trust the teams when they're out there, but nowadays I go out to my projects maybe twice a week, which I don't know if I feel that's pretty good overall, but I think just having a face out in the public and with my clients is also important, because they hire me for me a lot of times. But my guys, they do provide a lot of that, but it's like a project manager type / salesperson as well. Someone that can take over a little bit of our responsibilities, because that's
okay. At the 1.2 to 1.5 mark, definitely 1.2 and then 1.5 the latest, you bring on an additional salesman / project manager, and he manages the projects that he sells as well. But at this point, I think it's premature to bring somebody on. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, then there's some time management opportunities for you to streamline. If you feel like the customer they hired you because they liked you. It's true. And then what you do is you work on transferring that trust to your crew lead. And I remember you'll know when you've done that well, when you pop by a job and they say, "What are you doing here?" Joe's got it. So you've transferred that trust to the crew lead and they trust the crew lead. So I'm
Sure.
trying to save you from coming off profit because it's not, it might feel necessary, but it's not really necessary right now. There are other opportunities to optimize, and I want you to keep as much profit as you need as you lean into growth.
Sure, 100% makes sense. Yeah. Similar to the technology stuff, we use a new system. It's called Mark8. It's a CRM. Actually, my cousin had introduced it to me, who I introduced to painting about 2 years ago. And he's taken off and he's loving it. But anyways, I was using another program before, and this one is a little bit more extensive. And it's similar, just getting people to jump on with the idea. But I was able to add some talking with the guys about what I expect and what's going to happen in the future if we start to use these things. But it's still hard to get them to jump on board with tracking, and it will happen over time. But I guess it feels the longer I go, the less I'm going to have them streamline it. It's going to be a constant struggle for them and for me. And so I guess I need to find a way to reset that and help improve that culture as far as they're making sure that they're doing these things on time and sticking with it.
Yep. Implement the progressive disciplinary process. It's in the employee manual in the cafe that I have for you. It's very important to follow it because culture, you get what you tolerate. And so by following the disciplinary process, your team will trust it. They'll trust the rules and the policies, and they'll obey them. And usually when you get to the written warning, they do it about face and they realize it's serious and it never happens again. Okay. Cool. All right. Asa, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, so I've just really been thinking a lot about it. Like, where should your closing rates be when your price and your sales process is dialed in, and what lead sources seem to be working for folks? I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I probably had 5 or 6 estimates out there, and none of them came through. So I feel like that was like some cold water. And a couple of them were referrals even. So I'm like, okay, 2 of them were referrals. You didn't close either of them. Something's going on.
So Asa, have you gone through the courses in the cafe to familiarize yourself with the system?
No, so I don't have a cafe membership right now.
It's included with your mastermind.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
I will do that this week.
Okay, right on. And then I heard you say estimates out there. Are you presenting on the spot while you're there?
Yeah, I started doing that. Call it a presentation, more like we're standing up, like, oh, hey, here's what I got. This includes this prep work, 2 coats of paint, 60 seconds.
Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. Go in the cafe, watch my sales system course, and watch the website conversion. So watch those 2 first, and then focus on networking and ABAs. Those are going to generate high value referrals. Okay. The website's going to set you up so that it pre-qualifies qualified leads and detours unqualified leads. And the sales system is how to close them on the spot, how to communicate with value. So you close them on the spot, even when another guy's outside waiting for his turn.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Okay. Right on. All right, gentlemen, it's time to roll out with takeaways. Josh had to cut out early. He said, my biggest takeaway today was passion comes after mastery. Posted it on my whiteboard. Awesome. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Alex, takeaways?
Just gonna be what I cut me from Josh. I'll take the very important to add to my terms that we will fix it or try to fix it before. So I just have to word it out, but I think it's very important. Yeah, he can avoid major expense by doing so. So I'll take away that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Alex.
Thank
Paul?
Just a confirmation of what I was thinking of prior to the meeting, and I wrote down the people I'm going to call after the meeting to start to get this. It's a weight of the administration stuff, delegation of the administration.
Yes, sir. That's it. Get him, buddy. Thank you, Paul. Okay, Dion, go ahead and unmute and share takeaways. Thank you.
I like you saying if you get what you tolerate. Something I have to work on. We tend to not micromanage at all. And one of my biggest fears are just a slow drift away. Small company, 3 crews, don't have all the regular meet stuff and get-togethers. And so that my takeaway from this morning is got to focus on that and it doesn't drift away and everybody does whatever they want.
Indeed. Right on. Thank you, Dion. Jamie?
I think simply, like, I guess everyone has similar things in running their business.
Not
I
alone
know
after all.
Yeah, and I know it because I talk about it. I have other painter friends and stuff that we do talk business just specifically for that. But yeah, it's nice to see. It's not nice to see. It is. It's comforting to know that we're all in this together. And that's been just my first meeting. It is enjoyable and to hear perspectives from everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. And again, welcome. Glad to have you. All right, Asa, close us out with your takeaways, please.
Yeah, a big takeaway was, besides watching the sales training, going to double check my contract for language around, we're going to fix it before you start charging us for stuff, and double check with my insurance rep about the waivers of subrogation with subs, and make sure all that airtight. I actually had subs get paint chips in somebody's like kitchen sink, and their plumber said that it's clogging the drains and might have wrecked the garbage disposal. So I'm like, oh, gosh.
There you go. That's it. All right, sales, and get that text, that verbiage on your small text. I'm forgetting the terms off the top of my head, but that's great. Thank you, Asa. Thank you, gentlemen. I want to encourage you to continue to dream big, also smarter. You've got this. Have a great day, everybody.